Nick Farr-Jones, the Australian captain. The moment he has been working and waiting for.
It was a great moment for Australian rugby and really catapulted it, forward in a big way. And we saw enormous growth in numbers and in playing numbers and popularity around Australia, which was terrific to watch.
Stories of people, being up at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the games, and this had never happened before in Australian rugby. And then I guess the ultimate was getting back to the ticker tape parade, where we thought we'd be going up the road, up George Street, and cars and a few tumbleweeds alongside us. But it was 150, 160,000 people, and it was something I don't think we'd prepared for, but it was something that was magnificent for rugby in this country.
Having a World Cup coming, that provides a lot of impetus in the sport all the way through, from fans to the kids wanting to play to sponsors, all that sort of thing. I think it'd be a wonderful fill-up for Australian rugby.
It only takes to impact one kid. I remember Ben Robinson came and approached me. This is when he first made the Wallabies, and we were chatting, and he said, that you signed a jersey for me one time to Ben, a future Wallaby, signed Phil Kearns. And he said, I've still got the jersey, and it kept pushing me all the way through. Certainly, if I can have that impact on one kid, then someone with real star qualities, like a James O'Connor or a Quade Cooper or a Michael Hooper, will certainly impact lots of kids. And so that impact is amazing.
And the last World Cup that was here was terrific. I mean, a great success, and really, pushed rugby, into the into the higher echelons of Australian sport at that time. So it'd be nice to be able to say, well, in 2027, this is coming. It's a bankable sort of an event in terms of both finances from the Australian Rugby Union, but also in terms of rugby as a whole. People will get behind that and support that in a great way. So I think it'd be wonderful to be here, and I hope the powers that be to see the light and think that a World Cup in Australia again would work really well for everyone.
The ability for a World Cup in Australia to secure the financial future of our code is a massive gain for us. But I also think the World Cup in 27 will also help the growth of rugby in the region. We've seen how important the Pacific Island players are to world rugby. We see them in all sorts of teams all around the world, playing for England, Ireland, wherever it may be. So they play a massive part in our game. So the intent is to bring the South Pacific into our World Cup.
2003 in Australia was just an incredible World Cup. It was so well executed, showed the world what we can do. Stadiums were packed throughout. I remember sort of calling a game here in Sydney where I think Uruguay and Georgia or something like that, and the place was packed to the rafters, and people didn't know who these guys were, but it was a phenomenal atmosphere. And so 2003 proved to the world that Australia could host a Rugby World Cup. 2027 we'll hit the ball out of the park.